Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 6 of Take Me Down to Studio City, your only rewatch podcast for Sean Kanan's creation, Studio City, which is a web series. You can find it on Amazon Prime. You can find it on Roku channel. You can find it on Tubi TV, I believe, as well. For those of you who have been watching along with us, we are going by the original release on Amazon Prime, so the episodes are a little different than what's on Roku. As always, I am Vinnie. This is Angela, and we are the folks that bring you Suds News as well as Angela Answers Fan Mail. Angela, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you doing?
Well, I'm pretty good. And we do have a great episode for you. If you're watching this early, you are a patron. If you're not watching this early, go ahead and sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. You'll get all of our pre-recorded shows early and ad-free when we do get ads, but you will get them early and ad-free. Go over to patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. That includes taking me down to Studio City, Dockside at the Bay, as well as Angela Answers Fan Mail and Sports Entertainment Center. Suds News will always stay live. That is every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, as well as multiple Twitter accounts and multiple YouTube accounts as well. Either way, we are here for you today to talk about episode 6 of Studio City, and this was probably the longest and heaviest episode that we've
Yes.
seen yet.
Yep. Clocked in at 17 minutes. It was called A Girl from Oklahoma. Um, and yeah, it was very heavy. There was a lot of important information dropped.
Yes.
I mean, it started out not as heavy.
Mhm.
They were doing a scene with, Hearts on Fire, Dr. Pierce talking to his colleague about his cancer.
Yep.
He was going to fight it and he was determined. And then Sam's talking to his agent and really is very inspired and really wants to get other opportunities. He loves the show, but he feels like he can do other things. He just needs help and his support.
Yep.
And then he goes to the bar, his family's bar,
Yes.
and is talking to his mother.
Yes.
Uh, and she wants to know if he's going to take the paternity test. And he says that he is, and he admits that, Delia could be his daughter,
Right.
but he's not sure. And then he asks his mother about his birth father
Yes.
because Doc is his stepfather.
Right.
Lori is his half sister and Doc's daughter, and Doc is his stepfather.
Mhm.
And Doc and his mother met when Sam was 12. So
Right.
he feels like, you know, and he hears a story he does not want to, he probably regrets asking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he asked about about his father, and I have to say, his mother. I'm kind of glad we got that scene because the whole episode. We'll get into more of what the episode is, but the fact is that him knowing his, you know, the story of how his mother was taken advantage of, and you
Mhm.
know, and how he was conceived, almost kind of it's kind of a shift now in Sam's character. At least from what
Mhm.
I feel as we move on towards the end of the episode.
And his mother's too.
Yeah.
You get, I mean, because she just seemed like a crazy entitled,
Yes,
stage mom bitch kind of thing,
exactly, like a ball of
but this
fire.
really, yeah,
And Patricia Darbo is fantastic.
she's amazing.
She's able to turn it on, whether it's, fiery bitch or
Hmm.
just emotional wreck, and just
Yep.
able to show the vulnerability, not only in her work,
Hmm.
but her face as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So we do see, we do end up seeing their conversation, and she basically comes out to say that, she was, based on the titular girl from Oklahoma, wanting to get into, acting and the showbiz and everything, goes on a test.
17 years old,
Yep.
left home.
Left home, 17 years old, went on an
Mhm.
audition, and, basically got the Harvey Weinstein treatment.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when you're, number one, this was obviously years ago before the Me Too movement, but also,
Hmm.
many, many young girls got caught up in that kind of stuff, thinking that, if they
Yeah.
slept with the boss, they would get, job opportunities and everything. So it's just a sad, sad story of, just
Yeah.
a naive girl from the country who felt like she
She
had,
thought this guy really liked her and admired her talent, and all he really wanted to do was sleep with her. And he just,
yep,
and then when she ended up pregnant,
they,
he wanted nothing to do with it. Called
exactly.
her a whore.
Mhm.
And, she talked about how, she considered her options and thought about having an abortion, decided against it. And yeah, it was just very emotional.
Very, and it's like this episode. The one thing that I'm really enjoying about Studio City as a whole is how they tackle social issues.
Hmm.
Not necessarily in your face, but it is,
Hmm.
at the same time, it gives you real world conversations and how people
Hmm.
really feel about it, which I guess is a pro of being on, web series as
Hmm.
opposed to network series that have, you know, different
Hmm.
standards and practices of stuff you can't talk about.
Right.
So not in that conversation, you had the fact where, his mother had the opportunity, the choice. Do I get an abortion or
Hmm.
do I, you know, have the baby? And she chose to have the baby. Um,
Hmm.
and Sam is, you could kind of visibly see just his whole demeanor change with,
Hmm.
with everything that he's going through, from the first scene being in the contract negotiation and just in the middle of that whole thing and worrying about his job on, the runner up of the Emmys and, all that, and wanting
Hmm.
to get a contract and wanting to go to bigger and better things, to now he's finding out about how his mother was taken advantage of and putting everything into perspective. There's more important
It
things.
laid him out.
Yeah.
He was sitting at that bar drinking
Yeah.
heavily. It laid him out.
And, towards the end, towards the end, he's sitting at the bar, and Doc comes up to him, and Tristan Rogers just delivers it, just with the amount
And
of,
obviously, he knew the story
yeah,
because he had been with Violet for so long.
yep,
And yeah, and he just wanted to be there for him because she had told him. And, you know, and at the end of it, Sam calls him dad,
yeah,
because it just kind of drove home that, Doc is his father, and all the things Doc said to him. And, were just really, really well done. It's just no surprise how Tristan Rogers won this award.
yeah. No, you're
It
exactly,
was, it was so good.
yeah,
And
no,
then after that really great moment, that kind of, not lightened because it was still heavy, but it was heavy in the good way.
hmm,
We go to Max's transport group,
yes. And
and they're
obviously,
getting started.
this is one of those things that Sam has nothing to do with, but
Right.
we as an audience have kind of, built some kind of a connection to Max from the
Hmm.
earlier episode of the support group.
Hmm.
Um, and
And the woman he was talking to and trying to give hope to and trying to reassure
yep,
isn't at the meeting. And when he asks, he gets the heartbreaking news
yep,
that she's killed herself.
yeah,
And, suicide rates are heartbreakingly high in, certain demographics, and the trans community is absolutely one of them. And it's real, and it's, heartbreaking, but it's important for people to know.
you're right. And it's, again, this is another social issue that this show
Hmm.
treats just very
Hmm.
appropriately. And so and there are a lot of shows that shy away from this kind of stuff because they don't want that
Right.
polarizing response from fans and everything. Uh,
Right.
you know, and then here's the thing, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on politically or whatever, the fact of the matter is, you know, when you have thoughts that are, different than the norm, that go against the grain, so to speak, you know, um, you're still a human being. You're still a person,
Right.
and
Hmm.
a lot of people just feel ostracized
Yeah.
when you aren't in that normal category.
Hmm.
And for those of you listening on the podcast, yes, I use the air quotes because there's no such thing as normal.
Oh God, no.
We see that on Twitter on a daily
No.
basis.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That's another
Jesus be offense.
show.
That's a whole other thing. I'm sure we'll get into it.
Tune in for Angel Answers fan mail with the next
Yep. And I'll tune in for GH.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's yeah, I just it's yeah, I the show, this show presents the things, but they don't make it an after school special kind of
right,
thing.
exactly.
It's just part, it's these real things these people are going through.
Yeah,
And it's not on a very special episode of Studio City. It's
right.
just this is their lives.
Yeah,
It's any episode this can come up because this is stuff that just happens in people's lives. And
it does. You're absolutely right.
it's just they present it beautifully.
Yeah, and
They
then
they really do.
after Max finds out that the girl had killed herself, he just leaves. Like he just
Hmm.
no words. You kind of see his face drop.
Hmm.
And his face,
Yeah, he starts to cry, and
and
yeah.
and it's like when you're in that kind of community and that support system, everybody, because you care. When
Yeah.
you're in that type of a role as mentor, as support, whatever.
Hmm. And a lot of people in the community have been there.
Right.
They know the feeling. Even if they didn't try to kill themselves, even if they didn't, they know the feelings that led to it
Yes.
because they had been there themselves. So and and it probably would take them back to their own spots with that. And it's hard. It really is. And it's heartbreaking, but I liked how they handled it, and
Yeah.
they had laid the groundwork for it in a previous episode, and then, yeah. But
You
yeah,
know,
this is a very, very heavy episode.
it really is. And just kind of building off what I had said about other shows, GH when the now chief of staff Terry came on, Dr. Randolph, she,
Hmm.
Cassandra James is a trans actress, and
Yep.
you know, the only thing they acknowledged was when Terry came the first episode to see Liz. Liz was expecting her male friend and opens the door to his
Yes.
female friend and is like, "Hey, what happened?" Oh, well, they didn't really explain anything other than, "Oh, well, I felt different and I had the surgery and that's about it." And go on your merry
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, they really did not acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And this episode kind of shows the real life situation behind it.
Hmm.
I'm enjoying the show so far, and I hope for those of you that have started watching Studio City because of this show, have started to enjoy it and have started
Yes.
to just really appreciate the creativity of Sean Kanan. Remember, go
Hmm.
ahead and use that hashtag Studio City Season 3. Let's try to get
Hmm.
that going so that we can get a third season of Studio City.
Yes.
Because I love the concept of you know a shorter show.
Hmm.
It's like I want to say it was maybe 5 years ago. There was a network or a web channel dedicated specifically to shorter episodes, shorter shows. I think it was called
Hmm.
B or something or something to that effect. It didn't last. I think it was like merged with another streamer or something.
Yeah.
Either way, these short episodes, they're quick to consume and they pack
Hmm. A whole lot. This is my, probably 30th rewatch of this show. I love it. I love it. Even though it's short and I just and we went over the halfway point for this season
Yep.
today. There's 5 more episodes this season.
Okay. Yep.
And yeah, so we're halfway to the end of season 1.
Yeah, nope, we absolutely are. And remember, folks, if you are watching, keep in mind Saturday, November 16th, 12 noon, we embark on a 24-hour charity telethon to support Samantha's Friends charity
Mhm.
organization. We're going to have a bunch of podcasters. We're working on getting some celebrity guest interviews as well. So keep that in mind and help to donate to Samantha's Friends. Like I said, we're going to be doing a 24-hour telethon on multiple different platforms. It's going to be a fantastic event. Keep that going. All
Mhm.
right. So, any closing thoughts about this episode here, other than the fact just I think that going for like obviously you've seen the episodes, I have not. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm going to see a different mindset of Sam going into the contract negotiations going forward, as if to say there's stuff more important than you know than the contract.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, and he goes for it with his dream.
Okay.
So he's determined to do it. And this, I think, this kind of pushed him a little out of his comfort zone and really pushed him to, it's gave him something. I don't know what it was. If it was, knowing, having that question of where he came from answered, or, feeling more settled in his relationship with Doc, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm enjoying it. So next week we'll be back with episode 7 of season
Mhm.
1 of Studio City. Like I said, you can find it on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, Roku TV. We are going based on the original release on Amazon Prime. So they are shorter episodes. I know the Roku
Mhm.
channel, they kind of re-edited the show so they're 30-minute half or 30-minute actual full-length episodes. So this will be a little different for you. But you know, go over to Amazon. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Short episode, short um analysis of it. And thanks for the shout out from the 10th floor podcast during Days for Dummies yesterday.
Yes.
And just a fantastic plug, I should say. Um, all right, folks, we are out of here. Um, Next week we'll be back with episode 7. For Angela, I'm Vinny. We'll see you next week as we go take me down to Studio City. Have a great day, everybody.